Now, the ultimate question, though, is why? Why did you end up making that transition from hockey goalie to catcher? What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of JL Sports World, where today we have a baseball player who was a former hockey player on. And we got Brice on today. Brice, how are you? And thank you for taking some time.
I'm doing good. Kind of just threw something out of my day. Decided to go ahead and throw myself out in the world and speak my story on how things were going from childhood to going into the real world of life now.
Cool, man. Cool. Well, happy to have you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. What's new in your life? How's life treating you? Floor is yours. Whatever you want to tell us.
So life now, I'll definitely say, big transition from high school going into world and stuff like that, going through high school and going through all that. Recently graduated.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So going from a high school into a real world transition is very different. It goes different for everybody in a way. Some people it could be an easy road. Some people it can be a little bit more of a rocky road. Mine currently it's like a mix in the middle of different things. I definitely say that it'll probably start to get a little bit rougher, but right now, since just got out of high school, kind of just having like a little part time job going on with things, kind of making a little bit of money, and then going through everything. Right now, currently it's easy, but whenever you start to get into the schooling and stuff like that, and then you're mixing time and time, it'll all start to just unfold at some point.
I got you. What's your part-time job right now? What are you doing?
I am a sales associate at Boot Barn,
Okay.
so I'm doing that. Having fun with it. Meet a lot of new people. I mean, it's a right on I drive, so you meet all different kinds of people. You meet
Tourist area.
very touristy.
Yeah.
You have people that sometimes it's like you have to have a translator there to help out. But it's like overall, it's a fun job. I don't mind it for what I'm doing right now.
Nice, man. Nice. So, what are you doing in the fall? I remember you said last time we talked a while ago you weren't going to college, but you decided on going to college. So, what are
So
the plans?
I'm going to end up going to Seminole State for 2 years. Try and walk onto their baseball team. If I make it there, put up some numbers, put up the grades, transfer off somewhere. I'm thinking University of Tampa if I transfer off somewhere because I've toured that school. Very small, kind of like it's similar to like the classrooms are similar to a high school. Whenever I toured it, very small, and they also have the degree that I'm looking for. But going to Seminole State, I'm probably just gonna have an associate's in business because that was like really the only eye-catching thing to me there. And then if I do end up going into Tampa, go into sports management, kind of the same field as my dad, because I've been around it my entire life. So I kind of know a little bit of the ins and outs of it. So it just kind of helps knowing that kind of stuff.
Does Seminole State go directly to University of Tampa? I honestly don't know.
So I
Like,
think,
Valencia goes to
yeah,
UCF kind
yeah,
of
yeah.
thing?
I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
it's like that with most community colleges in Florida
Yeah.
because it's like it's only a 2 year school.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think so. University of Tampa is a private school,
Mm-hmm.
so you might have to fork out a little bit more
Yeah, for
than what
sure,
it
for
is.
sure.
But hopefully, if I put up numbers during baseball, then I can email out to those colleges and like or colleges in general that I'd like to go to, and then end up there with a little bit less, maybe a scholarship. Who knows?
What position do you play in baseball?
I am a catcher. Been catching for a very long time. Had my little hits or miss with it. I'll definitely say that. A little bit of pain here and there, but you learn to love it all.
From the squatting?
Squatting, throwing, baseball is very different throwing arm action, so it can put a lot of stress on you and your just body in general. And going and squatting and doing everything that you do, your hip mobility has to be absolutely amazing for that. Otherwise, you're gonna have some problems. I'll definitely say that. So over the years, hip mobility has definitely gotten me to where I am. I'll play first base, third base here and there, corner positions, not too bad, but catching's definitely the first love.
What is it that you love so much about catching, though?
Um,
Throwing people out?
Throwing people out's amazing, but I definitely say it's just seeing the entire field because catcher, you see everything on the field because you're the main guy on the field, so you're looking straight out and you have the entire perspective of everything, so you know.
Right.
And it's just you have to have a good baseball IQ to be a catcher because you have to. So say your pitcher walks a guy, you have to know what pitches to call next. You have to know. You run through the lineup. You have to know who the batter is, what the batter's gonna do. You have to know if that guy on first is gonna go or not. You have to know what pitch to call. It's just like it's like if a ball gets hit, you have to know where the person's going. You have to know if the guy on first, second, or third has speed. You have to know if you obviously know who your teammates are and stuff like that. So you know if this guy's got an arm compared to this guy or this guy or this guy. So it's just a whole entire thing where it's like you don't know what's going on until you imagine it. So a lot of the time whenever I'm catching, it's just a whole lot of imagination going on. And sometimes whenever there's a runner on first, I'll actually try and guess if the guy is going or not. So it's like if I know I have a speedy, so say the first batter gets on, typically the first batter is normally the fastest guy, or sometimes it's even the contact guy.
Yeah, the different coaches do it differently. Like I remember when I played so many years ago, it was like they would put just in case because one, two, and three to start the game, right? They would want to load the bases, and then your fourth guy would be like he
Your cleanup guy, yeah.
kind of your cleanup guy, but like normally like when I played, it was like your big fat guy because you wanted to like hit it far, you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
like you
clear
want
the
to get
bases.
those
Your
clear the
cleanup guy,
bases,
you want
cleanup
your
guy,
cleanup
yeah. But yeah, different coaches do it differently for sure.
Yeah, I'll definitely say that different coaches do it differently. It's like, but normally as you start to grow up, you've got that either contact guy that you know is going to get on base, or you kind of got that guy that's like is a little fast
Yeah.
and that can get over. But normally your one or two or your contact or your speed guys just to get on base and go through with everything.
Have you had any funny conversations with the umpire?
Dude, actually, yes.
Really?
Yeah. So
I've had some good umps, man. I've had some fun umps, so tell
I
me about it.
so I played summer ball last year, just kind of like in general with my It was actually it was with one of my old coaches. He brought a little team together, so I ended up playing for them. And in one of the games, it was actually one of my old travel ball coaches whenever I was younger. That was the funniest thing ever.
That was the home plate umpire?
Yeah, it was a home plate umpire. It was one of my old travel ball coaches. I was like, that's honestly like not bad. So I was just like, so me and him were talking and stuff like that. And then I remember this year we were playing against Windermere Prep, and this is actually a funny story. We were playing against Windermere Prep, and the guy, one of the batters got hit. I think it was a med pitching.
You don't even tell me anything else.
It was a med pitching, and he got hit. And med for who he is, he can throw the ball a little hard, but it's like if he falls off a little bit, it's just, velocity dies down. But that's the way that it is with everybody.
Yeah.
Like if you fall off a groove a little bit, you start throwing a little less hard and stuff like that. Exhaustion kicks in. A lot of the time, the thing that's carrying you the most is adrenaline. So whenever adrenaline kicks in, then you start to ramp up the speed a little bit. I don't remember, honestly, who was pitching. Ahmed pitched the second game against Windermere Prep, I remember that. But he got hit. The batter for Windermere Prep got hit. And he took a little bit of time. And the umpire said some stuff, and I was just like, I couldn't help but to laugh at the time, but like looking back at it, I don't know if an umpire should say that. So it's one of those things where it's like you'll have some good umpires, you'll have some bad umpires. It just kind of you go on with life.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when I would catch sometimes, and you'd have different umpires who have like just different demeanors. And I remember I had one that would. It didn't matter what it was. Like even if like a little like speck of dirt just got on home plate, time, and he would just
Clean it
up. Yep.
It's like it has to be picture
has
perfect.
to be picture perfect. There's some that just swipe it off with their foot, but I've had some that are like, "How you doing today, catch?" I'm like, "I'm doing good, man. How you doing?" Then I've had some that are like, "I'm so and so. What's your name?" "All right. Well, if you ever need me, just call me." I'm like, this guy's like my friend, and like you think in the back of your mind, like, is he? Come on, like give me a little bit of strike call. Let me frame it just right.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I didn't get that one. Like sometimes you'll do like and then you have to like watch your facial expression. But
Dude, no, yeah, a lot of the time with umpires, it's all about facial expression and how you're in the demeanor in your voice. If you sound like you're frustrated on something, or if you like nod off your head like, man, like what was that? Like an umpire will see that and be like, oh, so he had a problem with that. Like,
Yeah.
okay, and like keep it in the back of his head. But it's like if you have a good like, a lot of the times if I go and I feel like a call wasn't right or I feel like I framed it good, I'd be like, hey, so and so, like where was that pitch?
Yeah, just nice,
And then
polite asking. Yeah.
yeah, just try to figure out where it is or like, hey, how many balls was that off the plate? Stuff like that.
When you know the show Quick Pitch, like where they kind of, I don't know if they have it on anymore, but like where they, it used to be on when I was a kid and I loved it. They would just show all of the highlights. Like they would have the teams off to the side, and it'd be like Astros at A's, and then they would kind of like rapid fire go through it.
Yeah, I think so.
Um,
Yeah, I do remember.
yeah. So they had, this one day, my dad's in my room, like as I'm getting ready for school, and he's like, "Well, what gets you tossed?" Because sometimes like it depends on the umpire. Sometimes you don't really know. And he saw like a like the lips were like it looked like the F word. And he was like, I think if you say the F word, you get tossed, right? I go, I don't know, man. I go, I think it kind of just depends on the umpire. Like,
No,
you can't really.
it definitely does because I remember our coach this year. He was arguing about a call that was made.
Yeah.
He ended up getting the toss revoked, but in the game he got tossed because he was arguing a call. My coach was correct on it. The umpire was wrong, but the umpire ended up tossing, and he didn't say. I believe he didn't even say any sort of like F-bombs or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's just, it depends on how you talk to the umpire. I remember, it was I think it was the Padres and the Dodgers a couple days ago, maybe a couple weeks ago. But the coach ended up getting thrown out, so pitcher threw out one, and it's kind of going back and forth, and then a couple games happened again. I don't remember if it was an accident or not, but the umpire goes, "That's a warning. That's a warning."
Yeah.
And then
Why am I being warned?
yeah, that entire thing
Yeah.
that happens, like, why is it a warning? Like that's baseball, and the
Yeah.
umpire got tossed out, or not the umpire,
The coach,
the
yeah,
coach
yeah.
got tossed out, and it was a big thing. It was
Now we're talking about you being a catcher, and a little fact about you told me is that you used to be a goalie, hockey goalie,
did.
and that's what made you become a catcher. So how was that transition from hockey goalie to catcher, and was it sort of smoother than an average Joe just because it's sort of you got the mitt and everything?
Yeah, I'll definitely say. So if you look at a goalie in general,
Yeah.
they've got pad, they've got the stick, they've got the glove.
Right.
So, but what it was for me is that my dad had worked for the Florida Panthers, and he had knew a guy. Like, I don't remember what the guy was. I don't even remember. I think I was young, but he had, and I've always loved baseball since I was young.
Yeah.
But we were in South Florida, and he worked at what is now the Amerant Arena. It was then the BB&T Center. He had worked there, and the guy gave me some old goalie gear, and I was like, oh, cool. So I would sit in the neighborhood park, and I would just kids would just shoot pucks at me. I was just I would just stand there and I would take it. But the question you asked was it an easy way to go? I was young, so it was more of like this is similar to this,
Yeah.
so why not give this a try? And with the whole glove thing, it's very similar. It's just you're with a goalie, you're catching a little black thing.
Yeah.
With baseball, you're catching a round ball.
Right.
That's white. So it's like black and white. So it's like, and coming off of a black stick, it's harder to see
Yeah.
because it's like if you watch this is Stanley Cup, you got a lot of people standing in the goal, but we were all kids, so we didn't really know much of that kind of stuff. But other than that, I mean, it was pretty easy, I'd say, in my opinion.
It looks.
I feel like if I went back, I would trained a little bit to be a goalie. I could do it.
It looks so difficult though, like to be a hockey goalie, just because you have like all these people. Then, like you said, it's a little black puck that and there's a black stick, and you have to like follow along with it. And
But a lot of the time, I feel like it's easier to see because a lot of the guys have white tape, so you know where the puck is. But
and the ice is white, obviously.
the ice is
yeah,
white,
yeah.
so you're seeing where the puck is. But the hardest thing is the guys that are standing in front of you, you kind of have to like peek over or something
Yeah.
like that, or like you have to get low. So it's just one of those things where it's like being a hockey goalie is difficult whenever you get to the higher levels. But I feel like if I trained a little bit on it, I could do it.
What is easier to see out of a catcher's mask or a hockey mask? Hockey goalie mask.
Depends on what kind of catcher's mask you have, honestly.
Because I remember I had like the where like the eyes were like right here, but everything else was covered when I was a catcher. But for hockey, it just looks like a cage.
No, so in baseball for catching,
Yeah.
they have a traditional mask, which you
Yeah.
have a skull cap,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have a pullover mask,
Yeah.
and then you have the hockey mask.
Yeah.
Hockey mask, literally what it is,
Yeah.
exactly like a hockey
Yeah.
mask. So I'd say it's pretty similar, to be honest. It's not that hard to see out of either or. It's just one is round and the other one's like a thin line.
Now the ultimate question though is why? Why did you end up making that transition from hockey goalie to catcher?
Moved.
Oh, you just moved? That's
Yeah.
it, really?
Moved. Hockey wasn't as big whenever I got to where I was.
Were you
So-
not in Florida?
No, I was in Florida. It was just we weren't really in like you're in South Florida. Hockey's big because of the Florida Panthers and stuff like that.
Right.
Or if you move to Tampa, hockey's big because the Tampa Bay Lightning. But it's like whenever you move further up north in Florida, hockey's not really as big of a thing.
So then you came to Central Florida and baseball was
So I've
baseball.
actually moved around a lot.
Yeah.
I lived in South Florida, lived in Palm Coast, lived in Keystone Heights at one point. That's 40 minutes from Gainesville. And then moved here indefinitely. So I definitely say moved around, but whenever we'd moved away from South Florida, so we were no longer like with the Panthers and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So baseball was a lot bigger.
Yeah.
So hockey goalie, love the gear, it was the weirdest thing ever. I sometimes feel like I like the pain of something like that. It's the
Mhm.
weirdest thing ever. But going from a hockey goalie to a catcher, it's all the gear. You got the glove, you got the mask, you got the pads, stuff like that. So it's all like, it was kind of easier to go into that. And being a catcher, you're in the action every single play. So
Yeah.
it's just like, you're never really left out of anything.
Yeah.
Unless the ball gets hit and then it's just thrown across the diamond or stuff like that. But then after that, you're right back into it.
I always thought framing was the funnest thing, dude.
Yeah.
Framing's so fun.
Stealing the strikes from the umpire is always the best.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Stealing it.
What was your favorite memory from playing baseball? From so far, I should say, because I know you plan to walk on, but like so far, what's your favorite memory?
Cooperstown, New York, whenever I was 12. That was
Cooperstown, New York. You played cold baseball?
No.
No?
So it was a travel tournament.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a week-long travel tournament.
Yeah.
We almost didn't go, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Because we had the money, but one of the kids backed out with all the money that he raised.
Mm-hmm.
So we went from not doing that. We were not going to go, and then we went, which is the best thing ever. So you stayed in these barracks with your teammates. No parents, just your teammates and your coaches. And it's a village. Like, literally, they made food for you. You could go out.
Ooh, that's nice.
It's teams from all over America, too.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Oh, that's
not
cool.
it's not just Florida.
Yeah, that's cool.
So, and you could do this pin trading as well. So, I traded pins with everything. And you trade pins with the different teams. You go and you play for that week. You do like a skill showcase. So, we had like around the horn, home run derby,
Yeah.
races, and then it was like an outfield toss. Our guy actually won, I believe, for the outfield. I think he got in the championship. I don't know if he won. I think he did. I don't remember. This is 4 years ago. No, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 6. 6 years ago. So it was definitely one of a kind memory. And then we got free tickets to the Baseball Hall of Fame. So that was cool. And if you've ever seen a movie, A League of Their Own,
I have not, no.
so it's whenever like a whole war was happening and stuff like I think it was World War II was happening, and like all the men shipped off to war.
Yeah.
Baseball was a big part of that. So all the men were gone and they couldn't really play baseball because they were fighting.
Mm-hmm.
So the women kind of had like a league of their own, which they would make they ended up making a movie, and it's in the Baseball Hall of Fame about that. So you go, and one of the fields is actually there. In Cooperstown.
Really?
So I got to see that field as well. So that was pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Definitely wasn't expecting that answer. I'm not gonna lie. I was
Dude,
not.
no,
I was not expecting that.
That was definitely one of the best trips that I've had, and I still remember it vividly. I hit 4 home runs.
4 homers. Okay. In the park or out?
Out.
Out. Okay.
I was not a fast kid. But hit 4 home runs. I ended up catching, pitching, playing first base, playing third base. But it was so weird because normally you throw on the line going outwards, so the foul lines will be here.
Yeah.
That way. You couldn't throw that way
That is so weird.
because they didn't have normal like stands like they would.
Yeah.
The stands were on the foul lines
Yeah.
all the way out, so you have fans, and if you're throwing this way, the fans are on the foul line, you get hit.
Yeah.
It's a missed ball.
Yeah.
So we had to throw. So instead of going this way,
Yeah.
we had to throw this way.
That's so weird, dude.
So one of the guys was facing the infield, one of the guys was facing the wall.
Yeah.
And you're throwing like that.
Yeah, that's weird. I'm not comfy with.
I mean, it was a cool experience.
I'm sure it was unique.
And
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
My parents actually made me like a memorial, I guess, of it. I don't know what to call it. Mural, something like that.
Yeah.
But
Mural.
Memorial.
Memorial.
But it's a frame. It has the jersey that I used. It has all 4 of my home run balls. It has a Cooperstown Bat Company bat in it, and then it's got a couple pictures in it.
That's awesome, dude.
So I still have that.
Yeah. Memorial's when someone dies, by the way. The mural is like
Hey man,
it's okay. It's
hey
okay.
man, the 12-year-old died. The 12-year-old is no longer there.
It's okay. We're in summertime. Your brain fart.
Brain's not.
Brain fart. It's okay.
Brain only works at work, and that's it.
What was your favorite memory from playing hockey?
Did just going out and just, since it was really street hockey, it wasn't really like competitive ice hockey. Just I feel like going out, like putting on the rollerblades and then just going out and just
Yeah.
shooting pucks at the net for no reason, just to do something.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, nobody really does that anymore because it's all like video games and stuff like this. And don't get me wrong, I'll play my fair share of games and stuff like that, but it's like I'll still go out and I'll do random things. Like since baseball's ended, another thing that's picked up is golf. Like I've always played golf with my dad
Yeah.
and stuff like that, but I've been playing a lot of golf recently.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm bad at golf, so I mean.
No, I'd say going baseball and golf transition, not that hard.
I wanted to actually.
Swing here.
Yeah, well, when I was playing baseball, I really wanted to learn golf, but the problem was like the swing is so different. I didn't want to dip my bat when I actually was playing baseball. You know what I mean? Versus when you're golfing, it's all here. And I used to always, whenever I would, I had this babysitter, and she played golf, and I would constantly I would be like, I think you're swinging wrong. And she's like, what do you mean? I go, you have to step in your swing. That's how you get more power. And she's like, no, not in golf. Like, that's not how we do it in golf. And I was like, oh, my bad. But, yeah.
The swing kind of like path is the same, but it's like, if like one's horizontal swing, it's like a vertical.
It's like a pendulum.
Yeah, pendulum.
Yeah.
Actually, how I swing in a pendulum motion.
Yeah. So Stanley Cup was recently, so take me through
Yes.
your roller coaster of emotions as you were watching the Stanley Cup.
So-
I know you and I had some talks about it.
We did. I missed the first 2 rounds of it. So I missed the one against the Lightning and I missed the one against the Maple Leafs. But I tuned in whenever we started playing the Carolina Panthers. Carolina Panthers was a easy blow. We went 3-0 in the series, blew 1 game, ended up winning again. So that was kind of happy. My girlfriend's she's happy that it's over, because she's like I'd be with her and then there'd be a hockey game on, and it's like one of those things where it's like I'm watching the hockey game, and she's like, I want attention,
Dude.
but there's hockey on.
That's like I don't know if you ever seen this. Like, there's probably some. You could probably just search up husbands during fantasy football, like
Oh my
wives
god,
will
those are
post.
so video.
Yeah,
Those
yeah.
are so funny.
Like whenever
Those are
there's
so
a
funny.
whenever there's a game on or an event on, it's like
It's like the
I,
husband
I
was
know that.
locked
Yeah,
into
my
that.
hubby's locked in. They'll be like hubby's locked in, and then you just see him like staring at the screen, checking his phone.
No, that was literally me. Like, so it was the fourth overtime
Mm-hmm.
during the series of Edmonton. So
Yep.
the rematch of the Stanley Cup.
Yep.
It was the time that we had went up 3 goals, and then we blew the game. I was mad about that.
I was so mad about that too.
But me and her were watching a movie,
Mm-hmm.
and my buddy Jackson was texting me about it.
Just look on your phone, like yeah.
Every now and then I would look at the score and just be like, "Are you really looking at the score while watching this movie?" I'm like, "Hey."
Dude, I put on. Hey, I don't blame you because during the NBA Finals and
I don't
during
watch basketball.
and during the NBA Finals and during the NHL Finals, I had it on my computer, but I had Love Island on the TV.
Dude, I haven't started watching Love Island. I gotta start watching it with you.
Dude, it's so entertaining. I couldn't miss the episode.
I see stuff on TikTok and stuff like that, and that's like honestly the funny part, because like it gives hints towards things, but it's very, like, there's just a lot of drama going on. I see a lot of stuff about Huda.
Hey, I will give Huda credit right now because she was stuck on one man, but now she granted she has no other choice to explore her options. I mean, she could just like pull a peace out, I'm out of here, and go chase her man that she once was with in the villa. But she's exploring her options. She views it as a fresh start. I'm happy for you, Huda. Hey, let's clap it up for Huda real quick, please. Good job, Huda. But yeah, I mean, like we said though, like I like to. I gotta multitask. I see what's going on in the game, but I gotta watch my Love Island, man.
No, that's a lot of the time. It's like I'll be playing a game or something like that, and I'll just have something in the background and just be like, "Oh, I died. Okay, time to go look at that."
Yeah.
Figure out until I load into the next game or something like that.
All right, now what was your favorite moment from the Stanley Cup this year?
Defeating Edmonton again.
Hey, does Florida three-peat? Could they?
They've got the dynasty. Sam Bennett, Mr. Bennett, 15 goals. Love that guy. Sam Reinhart still staying there, 4 goals in the final game. 2 on an empty net. Oh no, 2 on an empty net. 1 sliding. And then that play was crazy. Whenever he was like falling off to the side but still somehow made the goal out.
I was like, what?
I was like,
Unbelievable.
first of all, Stuart Skinner, I don't know if you're listening or anything like that, but
Oh, he's listening.
he's got to fix his defense.
He's listening. He hears you clear.
He's got to fix it. I also thought it was funny whenever we went into the second OT, Brad Marchand, I hope he comes back, Mr. Blizzard Man himself. I thought it was funny whenever he was going in the interview, and it was like, he said that he had a blizzard in the locker room.
Yeah.
During that was honestly funny to me. But no, the Florida Panthers definitely got a dynasty going on with Bobrovsky in net, Alexander Barkov at center. We got Sam Reinhart, Matthew Tkachuk as the wing, Seth Jones as the defenseman, and Aaron Ekblad as defenseman. That's definitely, those guys are definitely a dynasty coming. We got Brad Marchand as well. Who else? Can't think of anybody. Schmidt, number 88.
My buddy was saying that he believes that Florida can be like the hockey state now. Because like most people when they think of Florida, they don't really think of hockey. But he's like, Florida's like kind of the...
Dude, I don't know what's going on, but Florida is...
It's good, man.
Dude, that is so... Me and my buddy were actually talking about this. It went 2019, 2020.
Yeah.
Lightning.
Yep, Lightning. Yep.
21 was the Avalanche. No. It was 2020, 2021 Lightning. That's
Yep.
what it was.
Yep.
22 Avalanche.
Mhm.
23 Golden Knights.
Yep,
24,
Vegas.
25
Panthers.
Panthers. So,
There's been a lot of Florida, man.
so out of the last 5 years, Florida being in it almost every year,
It's pretty good. It's pretty good, man. Hockey state.
hockey state.
Hockey
now.
state,
Yeah,
man.
definitely say that. And then whenever the Tampa Bay Buccaneers won, it was a football state.
I remember they called it Champa Bay at one point in time
Tampa Bay. Yep,
because
it
the
was called Tampa
Rays,
Bay.
it was the Rays, the Bucks, and the
Lightning.
Lightning. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Also, I gotta say something. There's two more things I want to touch up on, but I gotta say something real quick before we wrap this thing up. You look like Gardner Minshew. Do you think you look like Gardner Minshew?
I'd have to take a look at him. Let's go see what Gardner Minshew looks
Just look up Gardner Minshew mustache, or even that photo of you at the FSU game, like without a mustache. You do look like him there too. I'm not gonna lie. You remind me of Minshew so much, dude. I swear.
like.
And Minshew's like a dream interview of mine. Like I would love to have Minshew on the pod. He's just such a fun guy.
I could see it. I could definitely see it.
You see it a little bit?
A little bit. The hair not so much, but like,
No, your hair's more.
The handlebar mustache, yeah. I see
Your hair's
it.
more curly than his.
But I'll definitely say a person that I look like.
Or Billy Ray. No, Billy Ray's got way too long hair. You don't look like Billy Ray. I'm just naming like country boys now.
Person. You can't tell me no. You can't tell me.
Oh
Mike
my
Piazza.
God, dude.
Mike Piazza. I've also gotten told that before with my mustache, I gotten told that I look like Benson Boone. I've heard that before. I've heard Billy from Stranger Things. I've heard that one a lot.
You could just pull up anybody who has a mustache.
Anybody with a mustache and like curly hair.
Curly-ish hair and a hat.
Yeah.
Mullet
throw
kind of
it out
thing.
there.
Yeah.
It's like, yep, you look like him.
All right, so one more question before we wrap this thing up, and I always ask everyone this at the end, but what goals are you looking to accomplish in the future, and what makes these goals significant and important to you? If you could think of it.
I'd definitely say finishing college. Don't go into it and if I don't like it, still go out, find something else to do. But if I do end up liking college and I do play baseball, work for something. Don't stop. Kind of just continue going on. Don't throw something out just because you don't like it. Push through. Kind of advocate and go out there. Don't give up. Just go until you can't go no more. Don't outwork yourself, but
Push yourself to a good limit.
yeah, push yourself to a limit where you can accomplish it without having. You're gonna fail, but the only thing that you can focus on is if you do fail, rebounding from it, making it worth the while, and continue going on.
Awesome,
Say
man.
that.
Thank you for hopping on. This was
Yeah,
fun.
no
I actually had
problem,
fun, dude. I had
Yeah,
a
no
lot
problem.
of fun. This was fun. This was good.
This was a fun time. I'll definitely say that.
I got good news too. I'm trying to get on. We talked about this at the beginning, but trying to get on all platforms. Trying to do that as soon as possible. So make sure you follow me on all platforms. Make sure you leave a little like, a little comment. Subscribe. Follow me on all platforms, like I said. And hey, man, watch the. What'd you say?
I said there was a bug on the mic.
Yeah, there was a bug on the mic earlier too. Watch the previous episode with JP. He had some interesting things to say. But once again, man, appreciate you hopping on.
Yeah,
This
no
was
problem,
fun.
man.